Hey, this is Max here, and in this tutorial we're going to talk about ActiveCampaign engagement tracking. So I'll first explain what it is, why it's important, and then we'll show you how to set this up inside ActiveCampaign. So first of all, what is it? So engagement tracking is basically measuring when someone engaged with our content for the last time. So we're going to track when they opened an email for the last time, when they clicked a link inside any of our emails for the last time, and when they replied to an email for the last time. Now, why would you set this up? It's actually pretty important because this way, based on this engagement tracking thing, you can re-engage contacts when they seem to lose their interest, or you can get rid of contacts completely, so you can unsubscribe them from your list when they have not been engaging with your content for months. So how do you actually implement this? Now it's luckily really simple. So what you have to do is you have to create a new custom field called last interaction. So go over to forms, manage fields, and then add a field and call it last interaction. And then I put it in my engagement group. In case you do not have any groups yet, you can just do that here. It's just like handy to keep things organized. And then the field type, it's important that you set it to date, because that way we can store a date in it, and then we can also trigger automations based on that field. And then you click add, and then your custom field will be added. So I already had it, so it's already here. Last interaction type is date. And then what we have to do is we have to create a simple automation that is going to update this custom field every time someone is opening, clicking, or replying to an email. So that automation looks like this. As you can see, it's super duper simple. So this automation will start when any of these actions take place. So here you can see that we said, okay, when someone is opening any email, the person is on any list, and it's important that you set it to run multiple times, so that every time someone opens an email, every time it will happen. If it's set to once, then it will only happen once and then never again. So important, set it to multiple times. Same for link clicks, any email, any list, any link, multiple times. And also replies to an email, any list, multiple times. And then you have to insert something to update a contact. You select your last interaction field, last interaction, and set it to the current time. That way it will store the current time and the current date into this custom field. So when you have done that, it will look like this, and then someone will exit the automation. And then again, when someone opens an email again, it will happen again and again and again. So this last interaction custom field will always have the date in it for the last time someone engaged with your content. So I think that's really pretty cool. Now, and then what you want to do is you want to start an automation after a few months. So what you, for example, can do is that 3 months after the value of that last interaction custom field, we start a re-engagement campaign, or 6 months after that last interaction custom field, we start our main list cleaner. So here's how you do that. Let's create a new automation. So we start from scratch, we click continue, and then the trigger of that automation is going to be a date-based trigger. So you see that over here, date-based, you click continue, and then you can say 3 months after, and then we have to select last interaction, and then we check daily, and then I like to check it daily at 10 a.m. in the context time zone. So that's when the automation will start, when the year, month, and date matches the conditions. And then I'm going to click add start. And then you see that we have set this up. And then we'll call this re-engagement campaign. So this automation will start 3 months after the last interaction at 10 in the morning. And then if you want, you can right away send an email or send like a series of emails to keep the person engaged. Now, then I also want to show you my main list cleaner. It's slightly more complicated, but I also have a separate tutorial about that if you like. But this is what it looks like. Main list cleaner. And then you see that one of the triggers is when someone didn't open any emails for 6 months. So here you see 6 months after less interaction daily at 10 a.m. and it's also not currently inside this automation. It's maybe also important to mention for the re-engagement campaign that you say that you exclude people who are currently in this automation. So they say not currently in automation, and then you select your re-engagement campaign. So then you see that here, and then this slightly more complicated automation will start, but you can also, if you want, just unsubscribe people from your list then. But I like to send an email first in which I ask them to reply, and then this automation will check if they reply. If they reply, the automation will just stop. If they don't reply, then they get unsubscribed from all our lists. So yeah, that's how you keep track of when someone engaged with your emails for the last time. I think it's like a pretty cool feature to re-engage your contacts, but also to keep your email list clean. The next tutorial is also really cool. It's about lead scoring in ActiveCampaign. So it's also kind of an engagement tracking basically, but this time we're going to track how people are engaging with our content and how often, so that we can determine who are hot leads and who is not. So you see the tutorial on the screen right now. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a little thumbs up. And if you want to see more tutorials like this, then be sure to subscribe.